Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. The July Visa Bulletin is out. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the latest updates with respect to the Visa Bulletin and the changes from June to July that you should be aware of. Now I know you're probably thinking, what's the point of paying attention to the Visa Bulletin if the embassies are still closed and a lot of people are unable to attend their interviews? Now, I want to remind you that at all times, USCIS's service centers remain open. These service centers in the United States are the offices that accept and process the I-130 applications, the I-140, the I-45 adjustment of status applications. So immigration continues with respect to the processing of your petitions or applications. However, the embassies still remain closed, so you're unable to complete your process because you're not able to attend your interview there and get your visa stamp. However, the bulletin still applies. You still need to know the changes and the updates based on your priority date, because it will let you know whether you can now file your adjustment of status application, for example, and the timing you can expect with respect to when you would be able to get permanent residence in the United States. So definitely make sure you stick around to find out the latest information regarding the July Visa Bulletin. Before we get started, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up right now. If you like these types of videos, the videos about updates regarding processing times, monthly Visa Bulletin updates, so I can bring you the latest information. Also, give this video a thumbs up. That way YouTube knows to spread it throughout the platform. Other people can be notified of the news as well. I did make another video regarding the May Visa Bulletin about 2 months ago, and in that video I break down completely how to read the Visa Bulletins, distinguishing final action dates versus filing dates. I explain your priority date and things like that, and how to exactly read the Visa Bulletin. If you are still confused with how to exactly read the Visa Bulletin, make sure you definitely go check that video out. It's broken down completely. I will link it here in this video. I'll also put it down in the description below so you can check that out. As a brief reminder, if a date appears in a certain category, that means that that category is oversubscribed. There is essentially a wait time, and if there's a C next to the category, then that means it's current. The category is not oversubscribed, and you can file your application for permanent residency essentially immediately. So once again, if anything I say is not very clear, definitely go check out the other video I did upload, because everything is extremely clear there. I don't want to be repetitive in this video and make it super long, so I'm just going to quickly go through the dates and the changes. So let's take a look at the July Visa Bulletin for family-sponsored petitions. Let's look at the final action dates first, because the final action dates is what USCIS says you should use if you're going to be adjusting status within the United States. So for F1, it moved up about a month and a half from the June Visa Bulletin. Currently, the priority date would be July 8th, 2014 in order to be eligible to adjust status. So it did move up a month and a half from June. So all chargeability areas, China and India, all moved up a month and a half, whereas Mexico only moved up about 15 days, half a month, and the Philippines moved up 4 months. F2A category remains current, so that's great. Keep this in mind, it's not always current. F2A is for the spouses or children of permanent residents. It has been current lately, but this isn't always the case. So definitely take advantage of the fact that the final action dates remain current. Get your I-130s and I-45s, your adjustment of status, filed concurrently immediately before this changes and goes back, and you miss your opportunity to file concurrently. For the F2B category, it moved up about a month and a half for all chargeability areas, China and India. Mexico, again, only moved up half a month, and Philippines did move up 4 months. For F3, it only moved up half a month, and for F4, it only moved up, once again, about half a month, 14 days. Just because the Visa Bulletin comes out every month doesn't necessarily mean that the priority date moves up a month. As you can see here, it could move up more than a month. It can move up less than a month. Sometimes it can go all the way back. Sometimes it can go all the way forward. So if you look at the Visa Bulletin and you estimate that you would have to wait about 10 months or so to be eligible to file an adjustment of status, that might not necessarily be the exact timeline, because who knows, maybe in 2 months it'll drop down to a 4-month wait time, and that way you're not actually waiting 10 months. It can actually take longer. This changes every single month. You can approximate and estimate how long you would be waiting for, but really you don't know until it becomes current for your priority date. Also, in case you didn't know, in October of every year is the start of the new fiscal year, where the number of immigrant visas that are available start essentially from the top. So you start with the full amount in October. Personally, what I've seen with the Visa Bulletin is the months that get closer to October start to slow down, and we'll see more visa retrogressions. We'll see priority dates going backwards instead of forwards, because less and less visas are available towards that time. So typically the month of September, you'll see a lot of priority dates roll back instead of forward. So it's July right now. These are the current dates. Next month they can move forward, but don't expect them to move forward that much. You can also expect them to move back a little as we get closer to October. So definitely take advantage right now. If your priority date is current, don't delay, get your cases filed. USCIS remains open. They're still accepting applications, so get them in before anything changes. Now, it is possible that in October everything will go back to normal, or it'll jump ahead, or it will become current for your preference category. But I have seen that despite starting the new fiscal year, I have seen some categories that do remain with a large wait time. So once again, don't wait till the last minute. If you can file your case right now, definitely make sure that you file it right now. If we look at the bulletin for family-sponsored filing dates, there is a little bit more movement than the final action date. For example, F1 moved up 2 months instead of a month and a half from June. F2A moved up 1 month, F2B 2 months, F3 1 month, and F4 about a half a month. Those of you that are outside of the United States, use the bulletin for filing dates. When you're outside of the United States, you have to file your petition first, your I-130, your I-140 in the United States with USCIS service centers in the United States first. So once your case is approved, USCIS will forward it to the National Visa Center. However, the National Visa Center will not contact you until your priority date becomes current and an immigrant visa number is available to you. So if you're outside of the United States, pay attention to the filing dates. If you're inside the United States, pay attention to the final action dates. Also, if you are outside of the United States, the Visa Bulletin for filing dates is moving. So despite the embassies being closed, the dates are moving, and the National Visa Center could contact you to start the process and retrieve your documents. However, they won't schedule your interview until the embassies reopen. So if your date becomes current, it doesn't hurt to contact the National Visa Center and see if they have your case from USCIS. Ask if they have created a case number for you, so that way you have some sort of idea. Okay, let's move on to employment-based preference categories, and let's look at the final action date. So for EB1, the first preference, current. For China, moved up 7 days, not much. India moved up 1 year, so that's great. So that's good news for those with Indian nationality. If you're EB1, we're seeing movement with the preference category. A few years ago, for Indian nationals, EB1 was current once upon a time. However, for the last few years, there is a wait time, but we are seeing movement here of a year. Also, good news for those with Indian nationality is that for EB5, it's current. If you have an EB5, an I-526 immigrant petition that was approved, beginning July 1st, you can file your adjustment of status application for you and your family. Third preference, we see an improvement of 5 months, and for other workers, we see an improvement of 5 months. So it's not current like the other employment-based preference categories, but we are seeing some movement here of 5 months, so that's good news there. With the filing dates, everything pretty much is essentially the same. For Indian nationals, it was already current if you're outside of the United States, but once again, if you're inside the United States, you can now file your adjustment of status for the EB-5 preference category. Let's quickly touch upon the Visa Bulletin for the DV lottery. There's no change between June and July. Everything is current except Egypt 42,000 and Nepal 13,500 for those rank numbers. But on the July Visa Bulletin, it does talk about what to expect for DV lottery winners in August. And there's no more rank numbers for Egypt and Nepal, so everything completely across the board in August will be current. So there you have the latest updates and information for the July Visa Bulletin. Remember, these changes take effect July 1st. On or about the 17th of each month, the Department of State puts out the Visa Bulletin for the next month, so you know what to expect beginning the 1st of the following month, so you can get everything prepared. So once July 1st hits, these changes take effect. So definitely be prepared if your priority date is finally current. Make sure you get your adjustment of status application filed, because you don't know if the next month it's going to go back. You don't want to miss an opportunity to file for permanent residence. Things can change at any time. We also don't know what future delays will be caused with USCIS running out of money and having to furlough their employees. So definitely don't delay if you don't have to. If you like the type of videos of the monthly updates regarding the Visa Bulletin, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Also, make sure you're subscribed with your post notifications turned on by hitting that bell button. That way you can be notified the next time I have an update regarding the Visa Bulletin for you. Also, another video regarding the latest updates with respect to immigration. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.